Alright, this video is a little bit more specific than the ones I normally record, but I've been seeing a lot of people recently go into the lead generation space, specifically selling to local businesses, whether that be restaurants or retailers or home service. I see a lot of home service. I've been seeing this as a big increase. So I've been getting messages as a result of this. Michael, how do I get clients selling lead generation to local businesses? Now, lucky for you, I have been in the agency space since 2015. I have worked with a ton of businesses selling lead generation, and even back in my old days, I did some myself. So today, I want to talk a little bit about how I would get clients using email if I was selling lead generation to local business. Now, to better explain this, we're gonna go ahead and jump into my screen here, where I can type out some notes and we'll go through this together. So here we are on this beautiful diagram. The first thing we need to talk about is strategy. So we are reaching out to local businesses. What is our strategy? Because if we just start blindly reaching out to businesses, we are not going to have any success. So that is where strategy comes into place. Now, the first thing with strategy is we need to be specific. A really key idea around being specific for cold email is we want our campaigns to target one business type, not many. Now, this makes a lot of sense. If I own, let's say, a HVAC company, and you approach me with a cold email and say, look at these results we got for somebody who owns a gym. My natural reaction is, I do not care. Also, in your messaging, if you're not specifically calling out who you're selling to, there's just much less power behind your words. So we want to start by having a very specific business type we are going to be writing campaigns to. Now, what if you sell to multiple business types? You work with HVAC and plumbing and restaurants. Well, that's fine. We'll have a different conversation another time about choosing a niche. However, you can have multiple campaigns, but each campaign needs to be very specific to one business type. So that's the first thing we need to establish here. The next thing here is context and relevance are power. So if we reach out to people and we are able to understand better the specific situation they are in, we can have much more relevance in our messaging, in what we offer, and in our case studies. Now, we've already defined we want to target one business type, but what else can we do? Now, I have a couple ways I really like to target local businesses. I'm going to be giving you two today. The first one is I really like to build lists around companies already advertising. Now, there's going to be three main places that I'm going to find companies that are already advertising. The first one is going to be Google, second being Facebook, and the third is going to be Yelp. Now, this tells us a lot of things. First off, do they even want more customers or clients? There are a lot of businesses where they can't find labor or they're booked out and they just literally don't need more business. If you're reaching out to these people, it doesn't matter how relevant your messaging is in terms of their business or cases or anything else because they don't need your help. So if we are isolating lists of companies that are already running advertising, we can assume that they have product, they have supply, they have people, and they can take on more customers. Now, we also know that they are willing to spend money on advertising. There's a lot of local businesses that are entirely built by word of mouth. Fine, but we are gonna have a harder time selling to them if that's what they believe in. So if we're targeting companies that are actively running ads, we're going to have much better results reaching out to them naturally. So I like to build lists around companies that are running ads on Google, Facebook, and Yelp. Google, really simple. We would literally look up company type plus city, and we can scrape. Now, there's more advanced ways to do this, but that's a basic way. Or like Facebook, we can look on the ads library. Now, this is not a tech video. Maybe I'll do another one showing how you can do this in bulk, but this is just a general idea. Yelp, same thing. We can just look up company type plus city. And on Google, we look at sponsored results. On Yelp, we look at sponsored results. These lists of people are going to perform so much better than lists of people not running ads. Also, if we sell Facebook ads, we can make our messaging specific. I see you're running Google ads. Have you tried Facebook ads? Or I see you're running Facebook ads. Have you tried Google ads? Our Facebook ad strategy would do really well for Google strategy. Or I see you're using Yelp. It sucks. Use Google. So we can add context, understanding where they are, and have high relevance in our copy, which is going to make us more likely to actually get a lead from a prospect. Now, the second thing I really like to do here is I really like to build lists off Groupon. So build lists off Groupon. Now, if you're not familiar with Groupon, I'm going to go ahead and open it up here. Groupon is a coupon site. It's predominant in the US. I believe they do have a version in the UK. I'm not sure. You can look it up. But Groupon essentially is a discount site. So if I want to go find a local service, spas, things to do, food and drink, health and fitness, etc., I can go here and look for deep discounted services. Now, these companies have all intentionally listed themselves on here. And similar to ads, if I'm listing myself on Groupon, 1, I'm willing to advertise. 2, I can take on more customers. And a third actually to consider is I'm at least technically savvy enough that I was able to do this or have someone on my team who could do this, which is also a positive in this industry. So here's the problem with Groupon. Groupon makes them do really, really, really deep discounts, which hurts their margins, and it makes it quite hard to be profitable. So a lot of these people are acquiring customers as a huge loss leader where they're just losing money up front. And then because the people who go to Groupon to get services are generally on the cheaper, more budget conscious end, they don't always return. So I'm on here going from $99 to $31, and then by the way, Groupon takes a portion of this, let's call it they actually get 20 or whatever. It's just horrendously unprofitable. Where if we could approach them, and again, we want to have high amounts of relevance and context and say, hey, I see you're on Groupon. Obviously, you want to get more clients for your insect control service in Atlanta. What if I could get you new customers without offering a discount, and they're much more likely to come back? Way more attractive than just reaching out to a random business and saying, hey, do you need leads? So we're trying to use what can we see in order to have context and have a relevance in our actual messaging. Now, moving on to the next thing in terms of our actual messaging to these people. Now with messaging, the first thing for any local business is you need to keep your messaging short. It is going to be read on a phone. If you think somebody who sells roofing or is a plumber is going to be sitting under a computer all day taking Zoom meetings, you are wrong. They are going job site to job site operating off their phone. Your message needs to be very short. Second is that your message needs to be non-technical. We don't want to tell them about our results and mention how iOS changes and you can use Hyros to track this. They do not care. We need to keep this in simple terms that are non-technical. They're not dumb, they're just not technical. They're not marketers. They are tradesmen or restaurateurs, whatever you want to call them, depending on who you're targeting. So your message needs to be non-technical. We don't say ROAS, we say return on ad spend. We say it in simple terms that are easy to understand and digest. The third thing here is that most local business owners do not use Calendly or Zoom. Being marketers or working with people, let's say in e-commerce or software or online coaches, yeah, Calendly, Zoom, it's like embedded in our business, but that's not the case for most local business owners. So if you give them a Calendly link and they don't immediately know how to use it, or even if they don't have Zoom installed, that's not going to happen. These guys also don't operate on the same 30-minute block schedule most of us online guys operate. They're going job site to job site troubleshooting. Your call to action needs to understand this. Ask for their phone number and see if you can call them, or give them your phone number and see if they can call you. That's going to convert so much better than trying to push these guys to a Zoom call, which if they do book, the show up rate's gonna be like 40%. So you need to have a phone-oriented CTA. Now, if you combine this strategy with this messaging, you are so much more likely to do better than if you did not. So again, seeing everybody going to lead generation for specifically home service, but it's local business in general, I thought it'd be a really good idea to record this video to share some of my findings from selling this on behalf of my clients, as well as selling this for myself way back when I was getting started in agency world. So if you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe, as I post a ton of videos on how to get clients for your agency. And if you do want to work together one-on-one to build out your client acquisition system, in the description there is a link to growb2b.io where you can work directly with me to build out your acquisition and really grow your agency. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.